You are listening to Radio Long Island City, recorded in the field at Socrates Sculpture Park, 9 kilometers north of the Harbor Hill Moraine. And now, the Observatory. The Observatory, Thursday the 12th of June, 2025. It is 84 days after the spring equinox. It is 8 days before the summer solstice. By the French Republican calendar, it is the 24th day of Prairial, the day of the caillé, the bedstraw. The sun rises today at 5:24 a.m. Solar noon takes place today at 12:56 p.m. The sun sets today at 8:28 p.m. Civil twilight ends at 9:01 p.m. and nautical twilight ends at 9:44 p.m. The length of daytime today is 32 seconds longer than yesterday. The moon is in its waning gibbous phase and is 98% full at midday. The last quarter will arrive on Wednesday, the 18th of June. These are the predicted tides today for Horns Hook. In the morning, low tide, 5:40 a.m., 6 centimeters. Near midday, high tide, 11:57 a.m., 1 meter 40. In the evening, low tide, 5:45 p.m., 27 centimeters. In our shared realm of plants and animals, after torrential rains through the night and morning, in the late afternoon the clouds break, the sun appears, and suddenly it is very hot. And all at once, the European honeybees are everywhere in Socrates Sculpture Park, gorging themselves on the clover flowers. Commemorations. On this day in 1665, Thomas Willett was appointed the first mayor of New York City, which had just come under English rule. Interestingly, he was adept at native languages and worked to maintain good relations with the colonists' native neighbors. On this day in 1776, the Virginia Declaration of Rights was adopted by the Virginia Constitutional Convention. It would influence both the Declaration of Independence, written later that year, and the Bill of Rights. On this day in 1817, Karl von Drais from Karlsruhe in Baden introduced his Laufmaschine, or running machine. It was the earliest precursor to the bicycle. It had 2 wheels configured like a modern bike, but it had no pedals. Riders mounted it and then ran with their feet touching the ground. In England and the United States, it was called a dandy horse, a hobby horse, and a swift walker. By the summer of 1819, it was quite the fad, and a women's version called the ladies' walking machine made accommodations for the ladies' voluminous skirts. On this day in 1851, Abbas Pasha, the ruler of Egypt, contracted with the English engineer Robert Stephenson to build the first railway in Africa. The first stage from Alexandria to Kafr al-Zayat in the Nile Delta opened in 1854. The line was extended to Cairo in 1856. On this day in 1939, the Baseball Hall of Fame opened in Cooperstown, New York. A poignant anniversary. On this day in 1942, Anne Frank was given an autograph book for her 13th birthday. Just a month later, as the Jews of the Netherlands began to be rounded up and sent to concentration camps, she and her family went into hiding. The autograph book would become her diary, published after the war. She, of course, perished at Bergen-Belsen in the late winter of 1945. And a sobering anniversary. On this day in 1964, Nelson Mandela was sentenced to life in prison in South Africa and was sent to the prison on Robben Island. He would remain in prison until 1990, by which time he had become a worldwide icon of resistance to apartheid. 4 years after his release, he was elected President of South Africa. And that is the Observatory, Thursday the 12th of June, 2025.